friends, it's Nancy. And first of all, I want to show you something new that I'm putting in my Etsy shop. This will just take a minute, and then we're going to do a little tutorial about how to make those altar paper clips that I got so many great comments about on the weekend. So I've made these packages of ephemera, and there's at least more than 100 pieces in each one. So you're going to get some French oh my goodness. They're not flashcards, but they're cards, and it has French on one side and English on the other. So I've put 6 of those in. Then I have these tea cards. There's 10 of them. Now each package could have birds, it could have trees, it could have flowers, could have animals. These ones happen to be birds. These are from the 60s, and there's 10 in each one. Then I have some very vintage index cards that have ledger lines on them. So on front and back it has red and pale blue lines on it. These are, I think these are 4x6. Yeah, they're 4x6. And I've got some money from a stock ticker game. And here's a scorecard for whist. I've never played whist. I've only heard of whist in books. There's a postcard. Now the postcards are not vintage. They have vintage images, but they are newer. This is 2006. So each one will have a different postcard. Then I've got some images from 1930s and 1911 magazines. So they've been cut out and they've been adhered to craft paper so that you can use these for embellishments or journaling tags or, you know, whatever. So there's going to be a few of those. These ones are from the 30s, possibly. I know the, yeah. And this one is from 1911. There's 2 flashcards that are long. So these are 8.5 inches long. They're red on one side, black on the other. So the red side has the answers and the black doesn't. These are not super vintage. I just thought they were a really fun size. These are 1992. So, I mean, that's 27 years. Feels like it was last year, but it's 27. So I guess that's vintage. These are vintage though. So these came from 3 different sets of flashcards. So this was alphabet cards. Oh, this one actually says rabbit on it. This is pre-primer words, and this is primer words. So it's black and went. This one says party and rabbit. Maybe this is a party rabbit. There is some these are also from the 60s. There's a couple of recipes that are on the card. Then there's some little paper doilies. There'll probably be 4 or 5 of them. This one's got 3 different kinds in it. Some will be tea stained already. This one's tea stained. These ones are not, of course. In this little coin envelope is 25 stamps. So there's going to be, they're old. There's going to be a variety in there. But there's 25. Then there is a flashcard. It's called Know Your Birds. This is from the 60s, 1961. So this happens to be an osprey, but there's different birds in each one. There's going to be 2 greeting cards that are vintage. This one is a happy birthday. They're both happy birthday. Well, isn't that nice? And this one isn't used, so that's cool. Is this one? Also unused. Also cool. This is a recipe from a church cookbook. This is a page out of a price guide for, it's an old price guide too, so none of these make any sense, but they're all bottles. Most of them are going to be milk bottles, dairy bottles. These are, this is gummed label, and it says Canadian approved chicks. They're government inspected, blood tested chicks. Now apparently this tape was, it's like, it's a label, it's a tape, and it's perforated, so that's exactly how long it came off the roll. This was used in shipping of chicks, I think. There's a jumbo card. This is about 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Then there's some old photos in here. Look at these kids and the dog. These are, and there's a baby having her bubba. But I love these kids and the dog. Look at that dog. Reminds me of the Little Rascals. Oh, and here's another photo. Somebody's doing a handstand in the water. So there's some old photographs. That one is dated 1960. This one is clearly earlier. This is probably 20s or 30s. This one doesn't have a date on it. This is for a penny raffle. Have you ever been to a penny raffle? So the little tickets are all perforated, but they all have the same number. There's some vintage playing cards. All of them will have Eiffel Tower on them, but they're German, so they have the D instead of a J for the Jack and the, or sorry, the V for the Jack and the D for the Queen. Interesting. This is a page that came out of a vintage field guide for birds. It's still nice paper. It's not fragile and crumbly. This is a similar field guide. This is for wildflowers. So each one will have a page of that. There is progressive euchre score sheets, one pink and one blue. There will be a little glassine envelope that was used for purchasing stamps. So it's marked that this was from 1971. It was a set of 3 envelopes from Chad. It'll have nothing in it, and some will be, well, of course they'll be different, right? This is from a flashcard set called Know Your Trees. So you'll have 2 of those. And last but not least, I found this learning game, and it's called, can't remember what it's called now. It's Milton Bradley, it's vintage, and it's all numbers. So you'll have 10 numbers in there, at least, possibly more. And if there is a math sign, I just threw it in. And I guess the idea, you were supposed to, 10 plus 3 and make things out of it. But I just thought that these were neat. There's a division one. And they're nice, nice weight card. So 10, 20, 26, and then the stamps, that's another 25, so that's 50. You can bet there's well over 100 pieces of ephemera in here. I will be listing this on my Etsy. If you're seeing this video, it's on Etsy right now. I only have 25 packages made up. Shipping to Canada and the US will be free. Overseas, there'll be a little shipping charge. Oh, I can't get over that picture. The kids and the dog. Okay, now we're gonna make those paper clips. Okay. So I have a file folder here, and I have an old magazine. This one is from 1951. You can find these quite readily. I got this at a nostalgia show, and I've gotten several magazines there. They cost about $2. Anyway, so I was looking for a color photo of something that looks like packaging. So I decided to go with this Libby's Can of Peas here. Just I'm gonna have another quick look. Oh, look at the TV. Just to see if there's anything else I might want to use. This is a gardening one, so it's going to be mostly household kinds of stuff. Like, well, yeah, there's some food. Oh, look at the cheese. Oh, look at the cheese. Wouldn't that be an awesome? Let's do it. Let's do a cheese one. But these like little paint cans are nice. Furniture wax. I'm just flipping through to see if there's anything else exciting. There's little Campbell soup. I could use like this oval. I'm sorry, I'm sniffling again. I've got another cold. Ooh, Franco-American spaghetti. Let's do that one. Okay, that's enough. 3's enough. Put it down, Nancy. Oh, StarKist tuna. So excited about StarKist tuna. Oh, look at the dog food. That would be cool too. I love old magazines. As long as they're not, you know, kind of stinky, they're fine. There's the stinky ones though. All right. So I'm just going to roughly, I'm going to take the things off my scissors. I'm just going to roughly cut around the image that I'm going to fussy cut later. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use cheese. And I'm going to use the peas. I'm going to have the Libby's song going through my head all night. Do you remember that? I'd sing it for you, but I can't sing. So cute. Garden peas. Okay, so we want a glue stick for this one. I got this big package of glue sticks at Target. There's 12 in there. And I can't remember what it was, but it was cheap. And I thought, well, I'll give them a try. And you know what? They're working just fine for me. So I'll give everything a good coat. And then smack it down. Whoop. Oh, it had Parquet margarine on the back. Oh well. We like spaghetti. Don't want things falling on me anymore. Where's my good scissors? I'm not seeing my good scissors. We'll just have to wing it. So if you have your good scissors, well, these are easy shapes to cut, so not that big a deal. Like this one's pretty square. So you want to go right up to the edge. You can leave a little kiss there, but not too much. I was supposed to be at a conference today for 2 days, and I didn't go because I feel like, yep. If I'm better tomorrow, I will go for the second day. It's in London, so it's about an hour. But it was an overnight thing, and if I'm gonna be miserable, I'd rather be miserable at home. And I didn't particularly want to sit in a lecture hall all day, hacking and snuffling and being obnoxious and making everybody else sick and being grumpy, irritable. But if I'm better, I'll go tomorrow and catch a couple of the workshops that I was interested in. There's a good one tomorrow that I'd like to go to. It's about lower back pain, and the doctor who's doing it is someone I'm aware of, so I'd like to go and see that. Actually, my son is on the committee for this conference, and this is one of his workshops that he organized. It was my idea, though. But he can have the credit. Maybe. And do the spaghetti one. And there was some, like, IT kind of stuff, too, that I wouldn't mind seeing if I can learn a little more about the case management program that we use. I'm doing really good with it now. In fact, my son told me I'm probably the only one in the office that's using it, using as many of the capacities that are built into the program as possible, compared to everybody else in the office who are still sort of doing baby steps. So my camera quit on me, so I catch up to where I am. So I had finished cutting out the little images, and then I traced a second copy onto the file folder with a pencil, and I'm just cutting inside the pencil line so that it's the same size, because when you trace around with the pencil, it adds a little, just a hair, but enough that it won't look neat. Okay, let me just check and make sure this is gonna work. Just have to trim that a smidgy-roo. Okay, and you are going to be fine. And you are upside down. Huh. Okay, we'll call that done. All right, that little ink. Just gonna ink up the edge. I'm using gathered twigs, and I'm gonna do the back. I know I've mentioned before, I like gathered twigs because I find it a little more subtle than antique photo. It's got more of a yellow tone than, although I've got my antique photo right here because I do use it. But in this case, yep. Okay. I need a paper clip. Which I just threw on the floor. Oh well. Story of my life. So, I like the vinyl coated ones because they don't get caught on the paper. So, taking your just the plain file folder part, gonna leave a longer side on towards the back, and just push it down there like that. Flip it up, and this is where we get the glue out and some cheesecloth. Okay. So the purpose of the cheesecloth is sort of to build up this area here so that it doesn't have a big dent. So we're just kind of stuffing it in and around the paper clip just to fill in the hole and give it, you know, if you want to have some stringies hanging out the top, you absolutely can. Shall we? Nah. Why mess with a good thing? Okay. So, I'm going to put just a little bit more in here. Just to kind of fill that center bit. Okay. Who was I listening to said they had a really hard time finding cheesecloth? I find cheesecloth everywhere. I will generally get it at the dollar store. Okay. Comes like in huge packages at the dollar store for $1. I can't remember. I was watching a video recently and they said they were having a hard time finding cheesecloth. I often see it in grocery stores for a higher price, of course. So I'm using Fabri-Tac here. Just going out as far as to the edge as I dare. I don't want it leaking out, but at the same time. Okay, match up your edges. And then we're going to get, if you don't have these little clips, go get some, because they hold everything. Yeah. So that would be hard to hold because of the bulk of that pin, but these edges are just fine. I'll put 2 more on here just to hold this. Alright, let's do our cheese one. So this goes like that. So I'm turning this over, putting this short side down, and then we're going to put some glue. We could do this one sideways if we wanted to, but I'm not gonna. If I put the clip on this side, then we could slide it sideways onto a page rather than on the top. So again, we're just doing some more glue. I never used to like cheese, and now I do. I never ate eggs. I never ate an egg until I was 34 years old. Can you believe that? My son doesn't eat eggs either. The youngest one. The oldest one, he'll eat anything, but the youngest one, he doesn't like eggs. But I'll eat an egg now. I like my eggs scrambled, though. Okay. I feel like that's built up enough. It looks like everything else is good. And last but not least, this is a nice size. So turn it around, small side down. This cheesecloth's already tea dyed or coffee dyed or something. So you'll see I'm intentionally laying some right in this area here to fill that up. Okay. These hairy bits will hang out in. I don't want them. Okay. So when they're small like this, you absolutely need these thingies. Because it just won't meet up. All right. So then we can add a big cookie jar full of seam binding that I've picked up here and there, and then I just wash it and hang it to dry, and it comes out all crinkled like this. Some is more crinkled than others. I like that dark green. So it's handy to have all ready to go to make really nice tabs for our paper clips. So that's good and solid now. So I'll probably use 5 or 6 inches. And you can tell this is old. So I fold it in half and then just slide it underneath. And then pull the loose ends through the little loop. I think I'll trim these a little and give them a notched end. So I just fold it in half and cut on a 45-degree angle. So there you go. So if this, well, we're imagining this is a page, so you just slide it on. Look how simple that is. There's no fuss. Do I have any blue here? I don't like that blue. This might be too light. I want yellow. Yeah, what the heck, let's do yellow. If I don't like it, I can change it later. I gotta fold it in half and slip it under. So you can see how really simple this is. It's not, you know, it doesn't take a lot of supplies, and it's stuff you have sitting around, you know, so give it a shot. It didn't notch very well. Let's give that another shot at a notch. You could put more than one color on there. You could do something else. You could put more than one length of ribbon in there. Want a little fuller. Should we do red? It's kind of got this cool green color. Oh. Yeah. Let's do red. Let's not get all complicated. Ooh, look how crinkly this is. Nice, nice, nice. Folding it in half, slip it under the paper clip. So Fast and Fun, no two are ever going to look alike unless you have the same magazine and the same ad in another issue. And they're colorful and vintage and just a whole lot of fun. So I hope you'll give this a try. And if you make it, post a picture on your Instagram and tag me in it so I can have a peekaboo and see what you made. That would be really great for me. Let's look at these one more time. 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much for watching my video, and we will talk to you again soon.